But let's move on here to the other stories from this week. We had a rumor here, another big rumor about Horizon and Guerrilla Games. They're talking about the possibility and the likelihood via Jason Schreier that Horizon Online, an online co-op game, will be Guerrilla's next game for PlayStation instead of Horizon 3, with Horizon 3 being a longer way off than most people would expect. So Horizon Online co-op, talk to me, Timmy. How do you feel about that?
I'm worried. I'm worried, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm worried. I would rather they stick to like a story format game than I'm concerned.
That's not tickling your fancy? What you don't like that? Yo, what you mean?
I mean, we just had the debacle and fiasco that was Concord. I'm concerned. Not obviously it wasn't Guerrilla that created the game, granted, but anything out of PlayStation right now that's like FPS or co-op focused, I'm concerned about. I'm not here for it, man. Nah. We'll see. I don't know, but I'm just not excited for it.
Yeah, I understand, and you know, I fucking agree. This is my thing. All right, we Horizon is unfortunately the recipient of some, I guess, overzealous slander because it's in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I mean? I feel like it is Horizon, more than many other franchises in recent times, especially in first party of Sony's IPs. They are caught at the wrong time in the wrong places so many times, whether they release in the week of a giant game that people care more for, or we're anticipating more, or again they're caught with some undue remasters like Horizon Zero Dawn remastered that nobody really wanted because the game in 2017 was looking really, really good for that time and didn't need it whatsoever, and then you jacked up the price of the original so the remaster could just sell whatever. Anyways, tangent. But I think Horizon's story, their narrative with terms of their releases and their reception has been underwhelming because they picked the wrong spots. I personally think this is the wrong spot, albeit as much as I love co-op games, I think the concept I like, because again, I am an absolute whore for co-op games. I personally think they are top 3, if not top 2, if not the best way to play video games. I am very much of that opinion. I love what co-op games do. I love what they bring, and a well-crafted one will give you memories to last an absolute lifetime with people. I am a full proponent of co-op games, but Sony's desperation and penchant to find a multiplayer or live service experience with their first party has gotten very, very serious over the years. It's gotten very, very intense, as again, you can see Concord, prime example. And I think they're trying to wiggle their way into that space and that lane and have an experience in their first party that speaks to it. And they're just looking for any solution that they can. They're looking for any solution that they can to fill this gap, fill this void. And unfortunately, I think Horizon Online Co-op, it feels like it could be a version of, oh, it's their Monster Hunter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh yeah, we're collecting data on this. We're doing this. Oh, this is our version of Monster Hunter, where we're like, oh, we go out into this wild space. You know, where we're dealing with a bunch of different wildlife, albeit technologically based, but still wildlife, and we're fighting against them. We're dealing with them. We're doing what we have to do on this end, and maybe there could be some elements of like what's the name, The Division, where there's like a dark zone where you can see other enemies and other like co-op units, blah blah blah. I can see the potential in it to be good, but unfortunately this is like a Chrysler 300, but you might be releasing at a time where a Phantom actually pulls up and the real deal shows up, and Monster Hunter Wilds is literally next year, and we know Monster Hunter has a long life cycle of consistent content. So when people are there, they're there for a long time. So if you drop a Horizon Online co-op game in the next 2 years, you're running up against Monster Hunter. You're running up directly against them in most cases. If I think the gameplay loop is going to be anywhat similar, which I think there's good reason to believe it is. So you're running up against a Monster Hunter. Yeah, go ahead.
If anything, what they should do is what they did with Ghost of Tsushima and just make the multiplayer in addition to the main game.
I agree. That tack it on. I think I think the only substantiated experience they had to drop standalone for multiplayer was Factions, and they canceled that shit. So there's nothing else will have room to stand on its own. There's nothing else in their first party that has room to stand on its own, in my personal opinion, right now, than that game that was already canceled. So you have to just either, I would say personally, wait till Horizon 3 and then attach it on. But knowing how Sony is and knowing how desperate they are to have something that boosts their monthly user, boosts concurrent users on an online experience, they're gonna want to push this. They're gonna want to try and test the waters to see what works. And again, I think from a business standpoint, a lot of these companies, a lot of studios in general, they're dropping co-op games as a means to not say full live service or not commit to full live service, but also have an online presence where they can start to maybe slowly drip feed money in some way. Again, I look at Helldivers as an example of that. We're like, oh, it's co-op. It's not really like a full live service, but it also is live service, but it doesn't feel that way because you're with your buddies all the time. You know, it's not like there's ways to mask it a little bit, or at least position it to be more co-op focused, to where people aren't focusing on the live service stuff as much.
Any opportunity for them to give us a battle pass, I'll take it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like this is an opportunity for them to bet it in. And I think a lot of companies are going, they're going the co-op route. Yeah, and they're adding more co-op experiences to, one, get player engagement, because they want consistent, again, player base as an opportunity to get more money from people. So that's like a happy medium that isn't full-blown battle royale live service, blah blah blah. But also, again, to build that potential to have a long-standing, long-living experience that somebody can play. Live services tapped out. Co-op, I think, is the next best battlefront in the frontier that people aren't thinking of yet, because they might see a couple games that have like a little bit of like runtime where blah blah blah. But I think that's the next big battleground for where a lot of these experiences are going to go for multiplayer stuff, because they see the retention possibilities and that being much greater than just dropping a battle royale, dropping some random old live service and saying that's it. Making a more tailored co-op game, I think, is more fruitful to AAA companies and big studios now than just a full-blown live service, because of the retention they could possibly give, and from there the possible profits they can get for dropping a battle pass on the slide and some shit like that. So we'll see. That's just my, you know what I'm saying, tinfoil hat theory and shit. But Horizon as an IP, y'all are good, y'all are cool, I like y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all do your numbers, you know what I'm saying, it's cool. But I just don't think it warrants a standalone co-op game, especially when there's other games that might have a similar feel that do the job, probably to a bigger scale than y'all. Monster Hunter. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's just see, man. I just gotta shrug my shoulders, cause good luck. Good luck, I guess. That's the best thing I can say to y'all. But y'all are coming into a period of time where it's going to be difficult for any game that isn't absolutely outstanding or groundbreaking in what it does, how it looks, or what loop it delivers to stand up. It's just 2025 and on is going to be a very, very tough time if you're not absolutely breakout quality or breakout something. You have to have breakout something to stand the test, really. You know, specifically at AAA level. Again, indie, AA, I feel like you can be a lot more expressive and still have your audience, but at AAA level, you gotta have some oomph. You gotta have some real oomph in something you do to really stand the test. You know what I'm saying? So, well, I guess Horizon, we'll see. Horizon Online, we'll see. Man, we'll figure that one out, because we don't know, man. We don't know.